Welcome to Burger King, home of the Whooper. How may I take your order?
Holy shit. Did that neuralizer actually mess this kid up? How about that? You don't see too many BKs with TVs. Do you guys always play that specific news channel on the TV?
What?
Well, at least it's not Fox.
Now it's time for KIKDA Hobbs Afternoon Update with the only twice divorced newscaster couple in the Tri-County area, Jan and John.
So that's when I told the bartender, do you know who you're dealing with, buddy? Because
John, I gotta say, I have never cared less about a story.
Oh, we're on. Good afternoon. My co-host and I are pleased to bring you the afternoon update on KIKDA. Earlier this morning, Matthew told me that Fruman, FP, and Fredrickson woke up again at Glenn's house in a strange deja vu state. They proceeded to go back to Springfield's burned-down house. Sundowning, am I right, Jan?
What you are doing to me right now is my penance for what I sacrificed.
Indeed.
Yeah, can I get, do you guys have the chicken whopper here?
Unfortunately, we made the choice to do that, and choices can't be undone.
Oh, okay. Then can I get one chicken whopper and small tots, please?
I'm sorry. So that's one cicada whooper and 17 small tots?
No, I don't think that's right. I said a chicken whopper and a single order of tater tots.
Oh, my regrets. Welcome to Burger King, home of the Whooper.
Fuck it. Why not? Time to lean in. Hi, yeah, can I get a cicada whooper and 17 small tots, please?
For you, Eggert? Absolutely. No charge for my old pals.
Sweet. Never look a weird gift horse in the mouth, I guess.
In other news, it has become clear to me that there is an interloper who made his presence known to Fredrickson. They discussed that things have changed and I was no longer in the basement. The other two found further evidence of my studies permeating Springfield's backyard. Well, John, you can't say you see that every day.
No, Jan, you really can't.
Burger King here.
Oh, damn and cheese sandwich. Oh, man, don't sneak up on me like that. Ugh.
Okay. Management wants us to improve this franchise's review scores. Would you take part in a short... Maddie? Maddie, is that you? You've gotten so big. Matthew.
No, my name's Robert Pliskin. Robert Pliskin.
Matthew, I'm so sorry. I should have been there more when you were little. Matthew.
Sorry, dude, you got the wrong guy. My dad wasn't just not there more when I was a kid. He wasn't there at all. So I'm pretty sure you're not him. No offense. I'm sure you're a great dad.
I will not be spoken to like that. I am your father. You will speak to me with... Would you please tell me about your dining experience rated on a scale of 1 to 5?
The fuck is going on here? Yeah, you're doing great, bud. 6 out of 5. I'd give you an 11 if I could. In fact, you're doing so good that I'm gonna slide out of this booth real quick and see if I can get your manager to give you a day off.
My CO? Really? Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I may get a commendation for this.
And finally, on to some sad news. A fire broke out amongst one of the faculty homes at the University of the Southwest. One man is reported missing, while the resident professor is in critical condition at Covenant Health.
Fredrickson found an opening into a tunnel system in Springfield's basement that was uncovered by the fire. The team decided they would continue investigating by descending underground. I can feel them in my roots. Indeed, a sad story for our small community. And with that, we say good day, Hobbs.
Colonel Pliskin, what can I do for you, sir? I heard you had some concerns about the state of my men.
Colonel Pliskin? Okay. Are you guys messing with me? Ha ha har. This guy has the same name as the Escape from New York character.
Oh no, sir. This is a very serious matter. This mess hall can't function without all of our men in top shape.
Sir, this is a Burger King.
Oh no, Colonel. This is Cicada Hall. My 17 sons and I take great pride in that name. Now please, what can I...
Can I take your order?
What the fuck, dude? Are you all right? Is there a gas leak in here or something?
Sir, do not use that language here. This is a family restaurant. I'll also have you know we passed our safety inspections just this morning with flying colors.
Vicious little prick, aren't you?
Sir, I've warned you about that language. Now leave or I'll call the police.
Chill out, man. I'm going. Hey, one question before I do. What's your name, boss?
My name is
Matthew? I'm Matthew? I'm so cold. I'm so cold. Wet.
Well, you look pretty dry to me, and the temp in here is a very pleasant 70 degrees, so 5 stars on that survey, I guess. Peace.
Okay, so we last left off with you guys standing in front of this newly uncovered manhole. 3 men around a manhole. And I think it was open, and I believe one of you was going down.
Going down on the manhole.
Going down. 3 men going down on a manhole.
Episode title.
Yeah, already.
I had it propped up open with a book. Prop it up and open.
Oh, yeah, that's 100% right. I remember that too.
So, yeah, you guys have been outside, and then the other thing was you had seen some cicada holes around, and I think Ruben and FP had a bit of a moment together as you guys are bonding.
We saw some feet, some tracks trailing off the trail of feet.
That's pretty Lynch, though. That's so Lynch. Cool. So, with it opening up, I think you hear the sound of dripping water or maybe rushing water even. I think you had dropped something down there and looked, and it was probably like a 30-foot drop. There are rungs that go down this.
Yeah.
And you guys are standing in front of it. So, what do you guys do?
Real fat, what was the red-haired rat face that you saw, RB?
So, I saw him.
Do you remember?
Wasn't I was in the basement, right?
You weren't in the basement. You were on the first floor, the burnt out husk, and then you're hearing things downstairs.
Oh yeah, and then I was like gonna go down, and then
you got stopped.
I got stopped, and then the rat man said, "Last time it was in the basement, it's not going to be there this time," and then he disappeared.
Did you tell everybody that, or is this new?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah. So that was the red-haired rat.
Did he
man.
disappear, walk away, disappear, or like a poof wizard?
I turned, and when I turned back, he was gone.
Gotcha.
Wizard.
So he could have walked away, but I didn't watch him.
Yeah, he's
leave.
crouching behind some debris.
He's like, "She'll never see me." Yes, that was what happened. Is he crouched behind some debris.
Nice.
He threw a smoke bomb down and tried to skitter away, but then tripped.
A real gob situation.
A real gob Bluth situation. Sure. Cool. So you guys are standing outside here. Who's going down first, or are you going down, or what are you going to do? I guess I shouldn't tell you what to do. That's not what a game mom does.
My last question is,
my God.
I heard, because I heard someone in the basement or something in the basement when I went down. I didn't see anyone. So I'm assuming that they went down the manhole. Okay. Sorry. I'm just working through some
stuff. You're really going through it right now.
I guess I wasn't really focused on the ground, but I feel like I would have seen this, right?
Yeah, this is like a fucking submarine door. Let's go.
Yeah, I wonder if it leads down to that dome under the lake.
Dome-shaped door, dome-shaped hatch, dome building.
It's a submarine manhole, portcullis or whatever.
Torticollis.
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 Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I guess we should probably go down.
Yeah.
I'll go first.
Should we grab stuff from the car?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that probably just grab a briefcase, flashlight. Fruman thinks real hard about grabbing his chainsaw, but does not.
I think I have everything because I was going in as though I was like a fire investigator. So I have like my jacket and like my holster and gun and like a bag with like a flashlight and some basic like rope and shit.
Okay.
Fruman definitely wasn't. He thought that he was just going to like walk around the perimeter.
Yeah, that was what I can remember you guys saying.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we did at first. I guess if we're going back to get stuff, I'm kind of worried about going underground again because of my history. So I grabbed like my burglar's tools and then like my 2 pistols that I usually use. Actually, I think I threw those in a drain. After I fired wildly into the house. All right, yeah. I guess I have some other guns. Can I have other guns?
Why do you want to search for your old pistols in the drain? You're there.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. We'll say that's your guns.
Okay. Do I do a search?
Yeah, do a search for
or
me.
luck?
Either one, whichever's higher.
94. One of them's gone. Can I roll for the other one?
Yeah, why don't we roll for both?
And an 80.
Okay.
No guns.
Okay.
I
got my hatchet though, in case we come across any proteins.
FP, what are you looking for? What are you doing?
So the other day after I, got a little spook outside of the house and did some things, and then there was a fire as I was walking away.
I remember.
Yeah. I was worried I might get caught. I didn't want to have anything on me, so I just threw my pistols into the storm drain here. I was just checking to see if they were still there. They're not.
Against his better judgment, Fruman pulls out his pistol and hands it to FP.
Oh,
here you go, man. And he turns around and Fruman opens the door and pulls the chainsaw.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't gonna take it, but he just saw that you being anxious and was like, I don't really understand what's going on, but the chillest man alive is kind of weirdly nervous about something, and you're just like, okay, have a gun.
Here, have a gun.
I feel like Fredrickson should gain a grip back for that because he just sees his 2 sons getting along.
You know what? I love that. That sounds good to me.
1 grip?
Yeah, 1 grip. I love that.
Yeah, I think I am just standing there looking at it, and I probably just stare at it for 15 seconds trying to understand. I'm like, does he trust me a little bit? Is that... And he's like, don't think about it. Don't think about it. All right.
I was saying, as you're staring super hard at that, Fruman is just stop. And then just walks off and goes
all right.
Fredrickson down
And actually, no. I think what we're going to do because of what this is that both of you guys can roll a 1d4 and tell me if you'd rather get that back in grip or in luck.
I rolled a 4. I'm going to say grip because that's the lower.
Okay.
Although we can't use grip to pass luck rolls, right? Or other way around. Luck to pass grip rolls.
What?
I'm going to give up my sanity to win the lottery.
So I can pass a luck. Yeah, that's good, actually. Should we allow you to spin grip to pass the luck rolls? That's a phenomenal idea.
I got a 2.
All right, grip or luck? Yeah.
Yes.
Luck can't be spent on luck rolls, damage rolls, grip rolls, or on rolls to determine the amount of sanity point or grip points lost. Wow, I've never thought about that. That's an interesting take, huh?
I would like for it to be luck.
Okay.
Oh, there's luck.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll say, I'm not going to tell you what this underlying thing is. So that's cool. So you guys get back either your grip or your luck, and we had this nice little moment. Everybody walks back in to the smoldering ruins of this house. I already beat it into your heads that it reminds you of the beautiful life that Cardiff and Springfield had now destroyed. And to the basement, down the creaky stairs that are kind of busted up, and down the manhole, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to go first. You 2 follow me down, and nobody do anything until I say so, other than go down the rungs.
Got it.
Do you want a spotlight?
I have one.
But you're could be climbing, and
I have a headlamp. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Why not both?
I just Whatever you need.
All right, so I start descending down. I think I get about like halfway down, and I'm like, all right, FP, are you next or Fruman?
Yeah, wait. I'll go second. I got it. I've got to be, I can't be first.
Fruman just stares.
I'll go second.
Yeah, I'm already halfway down, so.
Oh, okay. Yep. Here I come. And you can see I'm visibly like, I'm kind of like mumbling 80s rock songs to myself under my breath, just trying to like hold it together.
Fruman just comes up behind you and just kind of like pushes you towards the manhole.
just on top of head pushing him down.
Yeah, we had our heart to heart.
All right, here I go. I'm climbing down. Oh, this is really fast as I go, like not fast. All right, I got it. I can do this. Let's go. I go.
All right.
Cool.
And once I hear them get to the bottom, Fruman just like jumps down and like holds onto the sides and just slides down.
Hell yeah.
That's sweet as hell.
Yeah, that's sweet as shit.
And then like lands and sort of like Dragon Ball Z, puff of dust onto his knee. He like stands up.
Long like coat just fluttering back.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I can just totally picture his like big Doc Martin black boots hitting, and there's just a little bit of water on the floor. So there's like a little splash, but not a lot.
Yeah.
It's just like, pfft.
Roll impressed.
Yeah.
He definitely didn't think it was going to go that well. And he looks up and was like, did that look cool?
I'm like, I feel much better now having watched that. Thank you.
Like, Fruman, I know you've been trying to perfect that move for a while, so happy to see it finally panned out.
He absolutely had been trying it at the green box. Like,
like
a couple times a day, just like, this is going to come in handy once.
All right, I have like my headlamp and a flashlight, and is it like a hallway or what is
Yeah, so when you guys get down to the bottom, what you see is like a stone hallway that got a curved top to it, and it looks like it's paved with stone, but it's pretty not tall. The opposite of tall. What's that word?
Short?
Short. It's pretty short. So we'll say that it's probably only like 5 feet. 5 feet we'll say. So everybody's got to be ducking down in here.
Okay.
And then in the width, it's probably the width enough for one person to go through comfortably.
So single file crouching.
Yeah.
Single file crouching. What does the stone look like? Does this look like modern machine tunnel, or does this like look?
Great question. It's gray, black, gray, green stone, like so dark. You know that like gray green that almost looks like black, kind of.
Yes.
It's that. It's roughly hewn. It's either was done pre like machine stone, or somebody did a lot of this by hand, and it looks pretty old. It looks like this hallway has been exposed to a lot of moistness and wetness that you have. You would smell that too when you get down there, right? It smells like you're almost in an aquarium of some sort, and there's like a little bit of like moss and stuff making the passageway a little slippery. When you shine your light down, what you see is probably 100 feet down, it starts to curve inwards. And I should always have a Delta Green sheet up, but don't, of course. What I would say is there's nothing specific about like, I'm just gonna fucking look. Oh my fucking God. Everybody either give me an intelligence roll, or you could do, let's just go through all the ones you could do. You could do archaeology.
No.
If you have like a craft something, that would work. If you have intelligence, and then a navigate would also be helpful for this. So if any of those. We have a 55?
That is a 55 on my intelligence of 85.
Nice.
And I got 3 on my intelligence of 60.
Cool. And did FP roll?
I got a 66 on a 55 for intelligence. I am just freaked the fuck out, and I'm like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yep.
It's stone. It's a stone wall. Got it. Stones.
Over the hyperventilation noises from FP, I think both of you guys realize that the way that this curves around, if it keeps curving that way, it's probably going towards a center aspect of all of the mansions.
Would we know where that would be above ground?
Yeah, with a critical success, I will say that you would know that this looks to be around where Harrow's mansion is.
Oh, okay.
Where's the lake in proximity to the mansions again?
Across the street, right?
Yeah, so The way it's a ring of trees, right? A thick forest ring of pine trees, which is bisected by another, tree kind of landscape. And in between that, and on the southern side is where the campus is. And on the northern side is where the lake and the mansions are. And it's connected by that one road that goes between. And so you guys would see that this is probably the center-ish of the whole area. And so that means that Harrow's mansion probably makes the centerpiece of that northern half of the circle.
Okay.
And then the lake is in the western portion of that half of the circle.
Okay.
And you guys are west to Harrow's mansion. So you guys are north of the lake.
With at least my critical success,
yeah.
Can I ask, are there any additional turns that we encounter as we keep going? And do I have the wherewithal or like the directionality to be able to somewhat identify where I would be going if I took a turn?
Yeah, I think with the critical success, I'm going to let you basically map out what happens, if that makes sense. And so as you guys progress, I think it's fair that you are able to keep track of where you are in regards to above ground and kind of map that out. And so depending on how far down you go or how far out you go, you can figure out more stuff about that. But I will say that you will basically have a map kind of in your head of what's happening. But as it stands now, there's just that one hall that kind of is turning around.
Okay, well, I think we probably have to follow that hall. I'll go first, and I'll keep my light out. Everybody, I would say just keep your weapons drawn and try not to shoot each other.
Got it. No shooting each other. Check.
FP, are you okay?
Yeah. Yep, I can do this. I'm doing it.
I don't have a gun. Furman says matter-of-factly. Just I just want you to know that I'm not going to shoot anybody. So he's like,
okay.
I don't have a gun.
FP, do you have any downers of 1998?
Yeah, probably. I kind of pat some of my pockets and I just pull out a handful of random pills and I'm like, yeah, I know what some of these are, but nope, now's not the time. I can do it.
All right.
You guys see that mini series, It? Stephen King came out, I don't know, 10 years ago. Is that sewer? That's, yep. All right. No clowns. Let's go.
I don't own a TV.
Yep. That tracks. Okay, let's go.
And so I walk kind of gun drawn in one hand, flashlight over.
Yeah, little tactical grip.
Yeah.
Fruman doesn't really understand what's wrong with FP, but knows when we had to do the simulated patient encounters. I am so sorry. I'm going to do therapeutic touch right now. Arm is going to extend and I'm going to pat you on the shoulder.
Sir, it is all okay, you say.
Yeah, as FP is looking through these pills, Fruman just reaches his arm out very awkwardly and just pat on shoulder and was and then maybe a little push in the back.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right, cool. And I drop some of the pills and then I put the others back in my pocket. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Oh my God, should we Hansel and Gretel the fucking pills?
I was literally just thinking that.
oh, yeah, okay, I can do that. A lot of these are scored too, so they snap in half. So there you go.
Fuck yeah, we're Hansel and Gretel in the fucking pills.
Yeah, the pills.
Just Zanny the nanny taking you back home.
Back to the burnt down house. Yeah.
Back to the burnt down house. Cool. I think you would notice that the smell of water gets stronger. You would also notice that the sound of some rushing water or maybe water dripping, it's hard to tell. Sounds like it's echoing though. You guys keep going through this one hallway and until you get to a room that opens up, but not by a whole lot. When that room opens up, what you see is it's wide, and I'm talking probably potentially as wide as half of, I don't know, one of our houses are. And it's, at first it seemed, it's a little disorienting because you're is this an octagon? Is this and then what you realize is that there are, including the doorway you came out of, 18 doorways lining this whole huge room.
Would I know how many mansions there are? 17
doorways lining this whole room.
Because we're in the 18th one.
And then when you look up, there is what looks like one of those ladders that kind of cascades down. And it's probably I don't know, 30 feet up. No, not 30 feet, probably 10 to 12 feet up maybe. So, And it goes into the ceiling? And it goes into the ceiling, which you can see one of the bottom of a manhole cover, tortilla thing.
Portcullis?
Yeah, torticollis.
And as we have gone in, would I realize that that's are we like under Harrow's house?
You're absolutely under the area of Harrow's house. The other thing I would say, even with this critical success, is that you would know that there were 17 like mansions scattered throughout. There were other big homes, right? And there are other nice places, but the mansions are scattered out.
There's 17 or 18?
There's 17.
And there's 18 doors.
And then total, including the door above you, there are 18 doors.
Oh, so 17 on the edges, and then the 18th door is up.
When you guys are looking around too, what you notice is the one pointed directly south looks to have those like an extra outlining of stone around it, and there is an inscription on top.
I go to look at it.
And I'm going to put in the chat, and somebody can read it out loud. Who wants to give that a try?
Cherubim infra sunt, noli tacitus intrare, cantus primum esse, debut.
I like to picture that that's actually FP reading it.
Yeah, I'm just trying
He's
to.
like the butt plug.
I don't recognize these song lyrics. Maybe this is something from Lord of the Rings.
Fruman, does that look like Latin to you?
Yeah, it's definitely Latin.
So cherubim are the angels, right? Little baby angels. Infra is under. I don't know what sunt is. Nollie, that's a skateboard move. I don't know. I'm sorry.
What do you want to roll for that? Do you just want to roll like intelligence or something for it? Because like
I don't know, maybe like a intelligence with like a minus for like how closely I paid attention.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like with just like a minus 20, I think that's reasonable.
Okay. So I'll take my intelligence from an 85 to a 65.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Is Fruman the sort of person who would have taken Latin in like pre-med classes?
I took medical terminology. It fucking sucked.
I have a feeling Fruman probably would have taken Japanese over Latin.
Hell yeah, that's fucking
he absolutely did with a 93.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Dang it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Can I push the roll?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to figure out what
Push
you're going to do.
the roll.
I am going to get a beer really quick.
All right, team. Do we really care about this? It seems like a thing we should know about, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was trying to remember if anything like that has come up, and I don't think it has.
No, I don't think so.
You didn't see that in any of those papers that you were looking at? Those papers were all research stuff, weren't they? Okay.
Actually, that's a good question. Had I seen any of like those words, that writing, anything in like the papers that I was digging through?
No, that's a great question. And no, I would say that you've not seen anything like this in what you were digging through.
I think, actually, I'm not going to push the roll. But what I think Fruman does is I think that he like grabs some like paper out of his bag and makes a rubbing.
Oh, yeah. I love that. That's great.
Of that. And sort of is just like, I took Latin, and I don't know, not enough. Obviously, I don't know what this means. As he's like scribbling and like collecting this.
So you have that scribbling there. You guys are, I think you would realize that the hallway there is maybe not linked with any of the other mansions. So you kind of work out like, when we saw the mansions, they were all north, almost like in a 180 degree array from Harrow's mansion. And this one is directly south.
So that would be the lake. Well, lake is like southwest, but it could be the lake if there's any slight curve to this.
What time is it at this point?
Oh, God.
Because the speech is at 4.
Probably like 2.
It's probably, maybe like 1. Yeah, sure. 1, somewhere in there.
Always have to be an hour off of whatever we're saying.
Because you guys got out there at like, I feel like 8:30 or 9. So probably like 12:31.
Sure.
Are there any other markings on this door or anything else that stands out about it?
No, not really. And again, just so there's not actually a door, it's just an archway with this written on the, what's the top stone called? Isn't that got a name?
Like the keystone?
Cornerstone?
The keystone. It's a keystone. It's a keystone light sitting up there. And because it's only like 5 feet tall.
30 stones, 10 bones.
Man, not in Biden's America. With you guys, but you were able to get the rubbings of that because it's still only, each of these are only 5 feet tall, even though the ceiling's extended now 10, 15 feet or so. So I think really your options are to try to go up the ladder, potentially, if you could figure out a way to get that down, I guess, or to go into any of these other 16 places.
And the ladder's like 10 feet up in the air?
Yeah, it's probably 10 feet up in the air.
Well, Furman, you said that the ladder here goes up to, we're like seemingly under Harrow's house now, right?
Yeah, I mean, based on the direction and like how far we've traveled, yeah, we have to be under Harrow's house.
I think we should wait to go up the ladder for like a couple hours if we have other things to look at, because then we can try to get there when there's like a lot of people and be less conspicuous coming out of a manhole cover in the basement.
Furman looks down and he's like, conspicuous? I dressed up because he's in the tuxedo that short arms,
Oh yeah,
short
I'm still
legs.
just like a fire investigator.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, I mean, we still have to be like coming up from the basement, so I feel like we'll blend in better if it's like an hour before the speech.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
So,
if we go down the tunnel with the writing over the archway, like it might be about by the lake.
Like that dome?
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm thinking.
Oh, then I forgot. I'm like obsessed with the dome. Right? From like the Swan episode, I think I got real obsessed with it.
I think you did.
So I'm like, well, then we have to go down that way.
I imagine that like as I say that, you just take off.
I'm like, all right. And then I just like start walking sort of in a very like purposeful crouch walk.
Yeah, I guess it is a really awkward crouch walk where you're like, ugh.
I think Fruman is like normally used to you like spelling things out for him. And so for you to just be like, this is what we do, bye. And then just like start taking, he's like, like kind of not knowing what to do and just kind of like looks at FP and was like,
I just keep on trekking.
Yeah, every bone in my body is telling me to get the fuck out of here, but I think I have to do this. I can't run away now. Got to do it. Whew. Okay, you got to face it. Rip the Band-Aid off. You ready, buddy?
What are you talking about?
The small spaces, the caves, they're getting to me, man. And I just, I don't like it. It's driving me nuts. So I just gotta face it. Like I said, when we were up there, I can keep running from things or I can deal with them. And I'm trying to deal. So let's deal. Into the cave, or not cave, whatever, tunnel, the chubby angel tunnel, the cherub tunnel, the chunnel. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop rambling now. You coming?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go.
You guys, it's winding, right? So like, it gets like 30 feet down and it winds around. And I think you guys catch the back of Fredrickson's fire.
My like dark blue, like not vinyl, like polyester jacket.
Yeah. And just like the bear, like as it kind of flips around one bend and you guys go off. As you take off, you can hear the steps of Fredrickson ahead of you. Does Fredrickson slow down or just like keep trucking?
He's full speed ahead.
Cool.
He just figures they're going to follow him.
Okay. I think you guys keep walking. It takes a pretty good amount of time. It's like a meandering path, but with that critical success, I'm going to say you still understand that meandering path is taking you southwest to underneath the lake. Or at least where you would expect the lake to be. As you get closer and closer, you can hear more sounds of water moving, almost like the gentle waves of something above you, until you get to a place where some of the stones have like worn water dripping through them. Eventually, you guys pull up to what is a door. The door looks similar to the manholes, right? It's got it's a true like submarine kind of like hatch door. And it looks like maybe it was salvaged from like a military expedition or something, like maybe from a submarine itself actually, and built into the wall. It's pretty heavy and thick. As you guys get up, and what it will do is I think Fredrickson, because you show up first to it, Fredrickson, I want you to roll me a power roll.
94 and a 75.
Oh.
Fail.
A fail. Okay. Good. This is going to work out really well. Cool.
Will I be rolling another character?
Perhaps. You get up to the door before both FP and Fruman do, and there is nothing there. There's just, you go up to the door and all you can hear is the dripping, the drip, drip, drip. It smells even more like watery, marine-y, aquarium-like smells. There's more plant life that's like slowly grown around.
Okay.
And there's moss covering parts of the door. And then I think is there anything you want to do before the other two get there?
No, I think I wait since there's a door, I like wait for them to get there.
Okay. You two pull up, and can you both give me a power roll?
Yeah, it's a pass. 32 on a 50.
Fuck, I was 75 on a 75.
Oh,
it's a pass.
So they both pass.
Both passed with Fruman with a higher roll, right? Okay, we're going to do something very quickly, and I want Jimmy and Aubrey to not listen, but it's going to be 2 seconds. It's probably going to be like maybe 30 seconds. So.
33 40 63810.
Okay, so what Fruman notices is that right when you get too close to the door, you have like a split second of a superimposed reality, almost like you're watching a movie on the back of your eyes, but it's also like you're experiencing the movie at the same time. So it's almost like you're wearing VR goggles or something like that. And what you get is a brief flash of being in an airport, looking down at your passport. It's a Canadian passport for like a 18-year-old kid. It's blurry. It's hard to make it out what exactly the passport says. And then there is kind of the flash of pulling up to what you recognize as the New Mexico airport. Then there's a flash forward of sitting in the dorms, talking, sneaking a beer. Then there's a flash forward of being out in the pine trees very quickly, and you can hear somebody be like, Derek, Derek, Derek. And then you see a flash of this is no longer a vision or anything. It's literally just hot white flashes of pain, sharp burning pain of yourself stretching way further than you think you could ever stretch, pieces of your body stretching way further. And then the very last moment, you hear what sounds like another voice of another guy shouting, and then your voice comes together with that guy's voice, and you're just kind of shouting an animal howl, and then you flip back, and we'll bring everyone back.
33
Hey.
And they're back.
You guys, as you come back and sort of start looking around, you see... Do I need to roll grip or anything for
I
that?
think just like a very brief, and it'll be a 0-1.
52 on a... It's a pass. I'm not entirely sure what it is.
No loss.
Okay. You just want to say 68? Does 7 sound lost?
Yeah,
so
that
far
sounds
sound
about right
okay?
to me. That sounds perfect. Just write that down, and we'll have it as that.
Okay. If anyone wants to fucking track that down and put it in the fucking Discord.
That would be great. Help us. Help us. Help us help you.
So with the grip roll pass, I don't think Fruman looks as freaked, but you'll see him sort of like staring off as he approaches like the door and just kind of like stare off like he's thinking about something. And FP probably doesn't know this, but Fredrickson probably is like, he's doing the thing.
Yeah, I think I get up to the door. I'm kind of like looking around a little bit frantically while I'm there by myself, looking for any more inscriptions, kind of trying to listen through the door to see if I hear anything. And then when I hear footsteps behind me, I kind of turn around in like a really excited fashion, and I'm like, I bet this is the door to that dome. And then as I am saying that, I see Fruman kind of dissociate a little bit, or do I need to roll like an alertness to notice it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's long enough.
He's tall and pale and goofy fucking looking, staring off into space. I think you'd be like...
I'm like under a spell of this obsession, but that's okay. So when I notice that Fruman has kind of done his stare off into space thing, I think like as you're doing it, I sort of like shake you a little bit, and I'm like, hey.
Sorry, what are we doing?
What the hell was that?
I'm not sure. As we got closer to the door, I saw things in my mind, or they're my memories now, or maybe not. I don't know. I think maybe I saw Carlos. I saw people flying into New Mexico from Canada, and sneaking beers in the dorms, and being out by the pine trees that FP and I were looking at, and yelling at Derek to do something or other. I guess it was Carlos. And then I don't know. And then I was back here and you were shaking me. It was a lot, and I don't really understand it.
That's weird.
The pain at the end.
Pain
at the end is like I felt it, but I didn't feel it. It was there. Fuck, this is sounding insane.
Did
fucking sound like
no,
FP.
No, it's like what happened with when we were outside Cardiff's house, right? And we were all kind of like mind melds, that like that.
Fuck.
Did you
All right. You can mark a good idea when you get back to the
Hold
radio.
on. This one's going to blow your mind. Did any of them know what that writing out there said on the arch? Could you tell that from their mind meld?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
All right. Worth a shot.
FP didn't feel anything?
It's cold and wet down here.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Huh.
And there's no butt plugs.
Yeah, no smoke, no weird crystal butt plugs. So I'm feeling better. If this place does start to flood, we're kind of hosed. So that's got me nervous, but I'm doing better. Yeah, I'm doing better.
I didn't think about the place flooding.
Yeah. We're in like a tiny tunnel that's really long and twisty, and there's water coming through the walls. That's like...
Well, usually I'm pretty pro-water, anti-fire, so...
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Not...
Totally fair.
Not cave full of water that I'm in, though.
Can I put my ear up to the door and, like, hear anything?
33406310.
Yeah.
What do I hear?
First off, can you give me an alertness and just you?
Come on. Oh, nice. Oh, critical success. 44 and a 72.
Okay. So the first thing you notice is when you put your ear to the door, this door is covered in like moss and kind of water. It's like a little rusted and stuff. So this looks like this was maybe the inside door of a submarine, really, that was like taken from like a decommissioned military sub. There are scratched, but kind of hidden by the moss is this word, Tettix. And unlike that beautiful capstone, or what's it called? Arch? Keystone? Because that was a nice keystone. It was carved like in beautiful like script. This is like scratched in various states of decay in various sizes. And it doesn't look like super old. Meaning...
Oh, so it's not like worn...
This looks like it's been probably scratched in recently and kind of at a frenetic pace. So moss has not grown over these words, right? Like in any place where you see it where there's moss, it's like the moss was disturbed there.
Okay. And there's no other words scratched in?
Just that probably 100, 150 times across.
Oh, multiple times.
A lot. And in fact, when you looked at it, you thought maybe this was the grip on the handle, and then you realized it was scratched, and then you were like, wait, it's scratched everywhere, but it's like very small and in various types of handwriting.
Oh, different handwriting.
Different handwritings.
Would this word mean anything to me?
No, absolutely. Next thing is you put your ear, I'm assuming still to the door.
Mm-hmm.
At first, you can hear even stronger, like the sounds of current, but that does sound like it's coming up or above, like waves and stuff. But what the other thing that you hear is at first you think it's dripping, but it's a slope, and you get the sense that it's probably
water.
Well, at first you think it's water, but what it actually sounds like to you is the sound of what is like maybe a massive foot stepping and then dragging something behind it.
Oh.
And it feels like it's getting closer.
Shit. Okay. All right.
Okay, bring it back.
33406310.
So I kind of put my eyes really close up to the door, and I'm just looking at it really closely, and I'm like, do you guys see this word written over and over on the door? Does Tettix, Tettix, mean anything to either of you? It's written
Tettix. Nope.
Is
there any reason to roll anything?
I don't think there'd be anything to roll.
You can see it's written in like multiple different handwriting, like all over this door. It looks like it was written recently, I guess. I mean, it doesn't look like it's like there's not like moss or mold grown over it.
Can we actually see this?
Yeah. When you guys take a look, what it looks like. No, I can describe it because you guys are looking now. What it looks like is at first, it almost looks like you thought maybe the little port wheel that you turned to open the door had grips to it. But when you look closer, it's actually this word carved multiple times, like 150 times, all over the wheel, all over the door. And it's in different types of handwriting and different sizes, but all are pretty small. And it looks pretty new, meaning like moss has not grown over any place that's written. And in fact, moss has been disturbed anywhere that it's written, if that makes sense.
They're all new.
Yeah.
Is it carved?
Yeah. Into like the paint of the door?
Yes.
I picture it being like an off-white painted door, and then they're scratched in.
It's not off-white. It's like painted that black. It's painted to match the kind of walls.
Oh, okay.
So it's like that black, green, gray, green, dark.
Okay. That's why it wasn't like immediate that you could tell that was carved in. Okay.
Can we open this door?
And then I'm like, don't open the door.
What?
I'm like, there's
why?
something very large walking around behind that door. I can hear like very large footsteps and it's dragging something. I don't know that we're prepared to open this door right now.
Yeah, that sounds bad. This
So FP, you want to stay down in the scary tunnels?
No,
more?
I want to go back out up the hole. We've done the tunnels. I have conquered my tunnel issues, between tunnel fear and door with large monster dragging things. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna open this door and then a thing jumps out and gets us? Like what did Egger even tell us to do? Get the vector, but we can't get the vector if we're dead, right?
All right, metagaming. What's Fredrickson actually thinking as far as if you're obsessed with the lake, space fort at the bottom of the lake? How are we justifying this?
From a standpoint of
based
that
on
disorder, I don't think it's
this
take
is not
out self-preservation.
Well, yeah, and it's not like a mania. I just my character got really was what the fuck is that sort of thing, but now I'm at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was solid or something, and now that I'm hearing something walk around in it, I know enough about DG to be we can't open this because it will just kill us. Whatever's in there, most likely.
Okay.
I'm not in a bout of mania where I have to open it.
Okay. Mostly because, again, sort of being father figure, I think Fruman would at this point, despite his difficulties with social interactions, is probably Dad said no.
Maybe at another time if we had the chainsaw or something, but...
You do have the chainsaw.
Actually,
we do have the chainsaw.
Because I was asking, because if we couldn't open it, I was just going to,
around
chainsaw circle.
I didn't know we had the chainsaw.
Yeah, I gave FP my gun, and because I gave him the gun, I went ahead and grabbed the chainsaw, because I didn't have any weapons now.
Shit.
What about, what if we just collapse this tunnel and call it a day? Is that, and then... we call in backup and they can deal with it? Is that an option?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds like a good option.
No?
That's not an option for Cowboy era Delta Green people.
Oh, because we
you
don't
have no pro. Now FP wouldn't necessarily know
Yeah,
this.
that's
so
why I'm suggesting
I like the
it.
idea of you asking.
Oh.
But I think this is you're a Cowboy era. It's you guys. Edgar could maybe if you roll up bureaucracy, he can maybe scrounge out something, or he could guide you to a green box maybe, or take you back to your own where you could look for things. But you don't have the backup of a governmental agency. So
no, FP, this is not like we talked about before. We're not in the FBI. This is sort of
but there's
unorganized.
Okay. Man, I really thought this was something different.
Furman, there's clearly something very large here.
Did you saw Men in Black last year?
It was great.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
So
what a revelation.
I mean, it's a little bit unclear to me as well, but what we do is if we were Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, but we didn't have headquarters.
Got it. Right.
We're trying to do stuff, but we don't have help.
And you see FP kind of stare off for a second, and he just kind of does oh. And he's thinking in his head, he's picturing when they go in and there's the bureau, and Tommy Lee Jones is showing him all the weapons, and then he's oh, but if that all fell apart, then those weapons just get looted. And then where do looted weapons go? They end up in our trailer under the camper. Okay. Well, then who's going to be mad at us if we just collapse this tunnel and don't go in there? How about this?
We could do that, but that is if Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones just cut up the spaceship and left the sugar drinking guy to wander the earth.
Yeah, but he'd be in a little box under a lake.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, I get it.
Maybe, but...
Yeah, okay.
We
hey, how about this? Instead of just cutting the whole door, could you just do a little a zoom, a little in out, and give us a slot we can just look through?
Ruman is so pleased that he just did a pop culture reference that you got. And this is the second time in 2 episodes he's just
Yeah, man.
He kind of points at him and then points at you. It's did the thing that I did it just pointing back and forth and just like stuttering.
This time put my hand out on you and I'm like, dude, I got it. Same page. Not quite mind meld, but mind meld with words instead of minds, if that makes sense.
Man, I don't want Aubrey to be pissed. But because like that happened and because you're just like, can you just do the little like, Fruman definitely just goes.
I think we just see, I think there is this moment, right, where you guys are having this conversation while Fredrickson is just like eyeing the shit out of the door after seeing all of this and still having a little bit of that obsession. And then faster than anyone else can like notice, really, we just see the chainsaw come out. It starts very quickly and then we just like boop and goes through really quickly. And just like butter, it melts a little tiny hole inside the...
I'm imagining like a chainsaw, like a chainsaw shaped slot. Like it just...
Yeah, it's just like literally like
the
tip
line,
of the chainsaw goes and you can feel it go through. It's a pretty thick door, but a little hole goes through. Now with the hole in that, you guys can hear that there is for sure something dragging, a large something dragging other things around.
Is there any kind of... Oh, well, yeah, we should...
So, and why don't we inform Aubrey as she came back from getting some whiskey what happened? Brief description is you are kind of obsessed staring back at this door in both kind of horror and in interest, right? And you can hear mumbling. I think it's kind of that like you're focusing in on the slapping and pulling sound that you hear behind the door. And you can hear the mumbling in the background and hear something about Men in Black and you hear headquarters and you hear Green Box. And then all of a sudden there is the whirring to life of a chainsaw. And very quickly you see a chainsaw go and just go right into the door very quickly and pull back out to expose a tiny hole, probably the size of the chainsaw's blade in the door.
I put my eye right up to the hole.
Cool. Excellent.
All right. Glad you're not super pissed.
No, I think I was like waffling anyway. I was like, don't open the door. But in my mind, I'm like, we didn't open the door, but now we can see what's in it. And I'm like, good thinking, Fruman.
We had a moment and Fruman was just like, yeah, all right, I'm going to give FP this one and just like did it.
Love that.
Like Fruman absolutely did not consider the consequences. He was just like, yeah, we just did a thing. Whoop.
Cool. When you look in, what you see is that this room, so instantly light floods.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look in, this room is a giant room, probably like the size of potentially a house.
Okay.
And in the room, you can see kind of vaulted ceilings, right? The walls are now made of like, instead of that stone, it's gray-green, but it's very much, you can tell, like a metallic kind of substance that is like all around. And you can see when you look up, there's like a squarish dome-ish shape up top because you can see it vaults probably up 20, maybe 25 feet, something like that. The next thing that catches your eye is in the middle of this room, you see a circle of what looks like wires, like thick wires. They are out, they kind of like make this circle around some giant object in the middle of the room. The object in the middle of the room looks to be probably 10 feet tall and probably 10 feet wide. And in your very quick look, what you can see is that it is made of organic material. And when I say organic material, Fredrickson maybe wouldn't know this, but we'll say, fuck it. It really looks like somebody took out like a womb of 100, 150 people or deer or something and unfolded and stretched and stitched it all together into this giant circular thing.
It's circular?
Yeah, it's like kind
spherical?
of, I'm thinking like, it's not even spherical. It's like a flower bulb almost. And so it like comes
almost
out
like
and around and comes, yeah,
bit?
conical is kind of what it's like. But you can tell it's stitched together. It looks meaty as hell and it looks thick. Whatever's there.
I mean, it basically looks like muscular uterine tissue, I imagine.
Yep. Yeah. It's just like a bunch of uterine tissue stitched together.
Fredrickson gags.
Sure.
And then has to roll a grip.
Yep. Well, let's not start. We're not done yet. The other thing you notice is that walking or moving around, right, maybe behind that and starting to maybe come towards you is something that looks pretty large, like the size of 2 or 3 people all put together. Had this written up before we watched The Substance, but what you see there is on 2 really, really thick, legs, like thick human legs. Like they look like they've been fucking working out. Walking with one leg, dragging the other behind it as if it doesn't fully work is this. I mean, the best way to describe it is like a mass of tissue, like a cancerous growth made of people. You can see multiple mouths, 2 or 3 mouths. There are eyes that kind of float around, actually, and it looks like it's a liquid plastic form, like it's always kind of melding, moving around. Multiple limbs jut out, they go out, they come back in, they jut out, they come back in. And what it looks like it's doing is it reminds me of like a rabid animal with really jerky movements. And like every once in a while, it'll get close to the womb-like structure, and you can see a human nose pop out, and it kind of sniffs it and maybe puts up like a tongue that pops out and licks the structure a little bit, and then kind of stumbles back around, but it's very like erratic movements.
Like amoebic, where it'll like put out like a protrusion and then like bring it back. Yeah, but
each protrusion is like very human-like. It's not, just like a pseudopod. It's like an arm of a human, or like the tongue comes out and licks the womb structure.
Is it making any noise? Like, do the mouths make any noise?
Not right now. No. It's not really making noises. I mean, you can hear kind of the grunting. It's like...
Okay. I'm like, first things first, this monster is caked up.
It is caked up. Can you roll me a grip, though?
Can't even handle the cake on this monster.
Yeah.
22 out of 49.
Okay, so we're...
Nice.
So you're going to lose 2 still.
I think I like... Oh, God. Fruman, maybe you'll be able to look at this for longer than I can. You're used to looking at gross shit.
Fruman hands you some alcohol swabs.
I start waving them under my nose.
Fruman heard you gag. It was just like,
in the moment that in between the time of you getting the alcohol swabs, the smell wafts out from that hole. And it is not a good smell. Yeah. Not at all. It smells like rank trash that's been left out in the sun for like weeks at a time, and maybe a raccoon snuck into the trash and started eating it, and then that raccoon had like a heart attack and died in the bag of trash, and now it's rotting corpses along with, baby diapers it was eating.
Rumen, just without skipping a beat, pulls out some like mentholatum from his pocket and like puts a dab under his nose and puts a isolation mask on. It doesn't even faze him at all. He's like, that smells terrible. Gonna put like this nice smelling stuff under my nose and mask.
What you do.
Yeah, and then just looks at the other two, being like, what? They're just like,
I probably just like try to take a dab of that. I don't even know what it is, but I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, okay, not so bad, not so good, not so bad.
I think I reach in my bag and get my like fire mask that I have.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay.
I put my like N95 like big respirator mask on.
I just look at you guys and do a big thumbs up. Like,
does anyone else look in the hole, or?
Yeah, I think Frederick's
Mike Fruman,
right?
Can you look at this?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's
sure. You see the same thing. You'll have to roll grip. Although I will say, when you put your eye up to it, what you've noticed is the thing is now kind of on the ground, and one eye has sprouted from its like amoebic form, and it's looking at its own form. Like the eye has kind of come out and it's looking, and you can hear just soft sobs. So go ahead and roll me that grip.
Interestingly, I have a 66 on. It's right on the cusp. We said that I have a 68.
We said you had a 68.
We're going with 68.
We say something, and that the fiction becomes the reality. So you two off now.
Lose twos. No. 66. Quick question. Can I have 10 seconds to ask something? Yeah.
Go ahead.
With the sobbing, I think Fruman immediately was like, I don't get alive patients. I think that he goes, Carlos, Derek, Matthew, and whispers it about the same volume. That's sort of what I envisioned that he would do, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Or like if I'm reading the situation correctly, that's what I think
you
would do.
Whisper that to yourself, and given the flashback that you had, or that experience you had, you notice that the voice is modulating itself, and it's modulating itself between 3 different voices. You saw in that flashback now, those voices kind of get put to a face, and those 3 faces flash, and you see the face of Matthew, the face of Carlos, and the face of Derek, and you can hear their voices. And in fact, what I think happens is very quickly, you see their three faces like staring at you, almost like a tribunal, right? And all three of them are just like openly sobbing, and you can hear the sound of all three of them, and it's shooting back and forth between those three. And that's the noise that this thing is making. Okay. Back.
Okay.
3-3. 4-0.
You see Fruman turn around and like the blood rushes from his face, and so he's even more pale than he normally is. It's the thing, and like the cancerous flesh pile. It's the kids. It's Derek and Carlos and Matthew Harrow.
Well, shit.
The fourth.
I guess we found the missing kids.
It's them. I know
is
it's
it
them.
crying? I think I like hadn't picked up on that until just now. Oh. Yeah. So
they're in pain.
did we put it out of its misery?
Yeah.
Can we put it out of its misery? I don't even know what it is. I haven't looked yet.
We've got a magic chainsaw. We can try it.
I want to look. Okay. Hey, I got my axe.
I look at Fruman. I'm like, does it seem like it wants to be put out of its misery? Why'd I ask you that? You don't have feelings. All right. All in favor of going in the big dome thing and putting it out of its misery, raise your hand. 1.
Fruman stands there like totally
like, 1,
stick
2,
straight,
3,
just like eyes huge, just staring at you.
Give us a second. I'm not opposed to it, but we need a plan. What is this writing on the thing here?
Zedix?
Yeah, what is that? Like
I don't think any of us know. It could be like wards.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Do you think maybe wards for what? To keep that thing in?
Potentially.
To keep something out? Potentially.
Or that. Both are possible.
Okay.
Well, here's, I think we had a couple different objectives in this, which were to figure out what happened to the missing kids, which we've done that now. So we can put what's the word?
Pin?
Feather in your cap.
Put a feather in your cap. No.
Yankee Doodle Dandy.
We can pause on this.
Yep, mark that one down.
Yeah, because I don't know that they're the vector. This thing just seems like it's dumb and lost and walking around aimlessly. Yes?
Yeah, I think so. But when I said their names, they seemed to move with purpose and look at me.
Did you say anything else?
I don't know if it was in my head or if it the thing that happened earlier.
So you got a feeling.
I got a feeling.
While you guys are kind of standing there going back and forth, I very much do not look, but I just lean down closer and I say, do you want us to kill you?
Nice.
Okay.
They could talk, right? You said they looked at you when you said their name, so I'm thinking maybe I don't.
Cool.
I don't know.
When you say that, you hear what is an inhuman scream of multiple people kind of all and then it starts charging towards the door.
Oh, okay. That paper that I had, because I think maybe this is a ward, I just slap it over the thing, and then I'm like,
what
let's
paper?
get the fuck out of here. While you guys were dicking around, I texted Sam about this. I just took a piece of paper from Fruman's bag while he was looking. I wrote TEDx on there thinking it was a ward, and we created a weak point in this ward. And I got the edges of the paper wet so it would stick. I don't know if this is going to do anything or not, but I slap it on there, and then I just start running the other way.
Cool. What does everyone else do?
Yeah, I think I look at what FP put on there. I see FP running away. I'm like, shit, I can't let him go by himself.
Yeah, and you hear the roar of something, and it sounds like 3 people screaming. It sounds like hundreds of people, but that's just because it's got multiple voice boxes.
Okay, I think I'm more concerned about FP. So I see him sprinting away, and I kind of run after him because I'm like, I don't know if anybody heard this thing screaming. I don't want him to be ambushed when he gets to the hexagon thing or whatever, the place with all the doors.
Okay, what's
Fruman has 2 beats of Bean Tina Belcher, where sees FP run off, sees Fredrickson. It's like, And then like looks up at the paper that FP like put up there, yanks the pull cord on the chainsaw and just like turns it on if anything comes through, looking back at the other, just making sure they have enough time with the idea of like if anything comes through, Fruman is just gonna like blindly stab.
You guys see the noise gets louder and then it slams up against the door and you can feel the whole area shake because this is the weight of something huge. And then you can hear it slamming again and again, different parts of the door as if it's trying to find something somewhere, like blindly slamming. And then you can kind of hear it slaps harder, to like the left and then to the right and then further and further. And it seems like it's like blindly slapping against different parts and it's going away again. Like it slammed up against the door and is now trying to figure out where that sound came from. But it's receding away from you.
Before running after them, I think Fruman like takes the tip of the chainsaw and so I'm imagining like there's like a gash like in the door.
The gash though is now covered up with the piece of paper that FP put there because he slapped that wet piece of paper with Tedx. Everything's sexual. This is like titties
and booties.
Titties, booties, butt plugs, go.
So I think that Fruman recognizes that as like, I don't really understand what happened, but like maybe FP was onto something. And again, so like with this, I think that he tries to take the chainsaw perpendicular to it and like kind of drag it to like see if I can melt the
I see.
And then with like the chainsaw, I rewrite the TEDx or whatever.
Oh, excellent. Okay, that works. I think you do all that very quickly. There's like the melting hiss of like, and then you carve that out quickly in this kind of like molted thick steel door, and then I guess you take off?
Yeah, and then I run after them.
Okay.
Okay, and then...
Like, depending on wherever they stop, I will tell them that.
Yeah, I imagine that I get back to the big room, or at least, I don't know how long this tunnel is, but I don't know. I mean, I run for probably a good like 30 seconds until I imagine that in this small place, all of that stuff is echoing, so I can still hear those slams and everything.
Oh, yeah,
and when
absolutely.
those kind of die down, I probably slow down, and I imagine I can hear Fredrickson coming up behind me, and I just kind of stop and wait, because it doesn't sound like we're in immediate danger
just puffing and taking
anymore.
rips off the albuterol inhaler.
We just hear that like
yeah, you like see me like shuffling out and I kind of like fall over when I get into the like larger room, and I just like grapple at I'm like frantically looking in my multiple cargo pants pockets and in my like polyester jacket. I finally find it and I take a big hit off my albuterol inhaler and I like cough and spit out some like blood tinged sputum.
You got like pulmonary
That's
mac
exactly
or something.
what I was thinking. Yeah, Mycobacterium fortuitum, like.
Yeah. How fortuitous.
I think as you all are recovering, you hear the chainsaw shut down, and then 10, 15 seconds later, you see Fruman also run out. God damn it, FP, I don't hate you, barely.
What? I didn't think you did.
Wait, what? We should stop keeping track of good ideas, bad ideas.
Sure. I mean, I stopped a while ago, to be honest with you. I think I've been nailing it for the most part. That's pretty slick. I think maybe my paper worked.
The paper worked.
Did it?
You were right.
Okay,
I was wrong. He has a thing. He has some.
He's not so bad.
He has some qualities I don't have. I don't understand it. Yeah, so
we each bring our own unique characteristics to the team. And I just like slap them both on the shoulders and I'm like
Should we all bond by taking a puff off of the albuterol?
You just think it's actually good drugs?
I'm like, no, I need this.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't share this. It's in a limited supply.
It just makes FP jittery.
Fair enough.
Right to like 130.
Why is my heart racing?
So I think we maybe need to get some air.
That paper worked, though. I think
Oh, so it was a ward.
I think so. I was standing there and I was going to stab anything that came through to let you guys escape. And again, there's like a thing that can manipulate its shape, and it couldn't get through the opening because of its piece of paper. So I closed it with the chainsaw and then wrote the same thing.
Oh, good thinking.
Over the paper would be, so that way it would be firm.
Yeah, paper probably is not the permanent. Good job.
Especially
Nice.
with it being wet down here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think I need to not be in a tunnel. So why don't we try to go up and join...
Yeah. Go relax at this party.
Speech.
Should we go to the party, or should we go to the one next door to the party?
Do we know whose house that is?
No, but ostensibly they would be at the party.
At the party. But aren't we trying to get into the party, and this would get us into the party without us having to sneak into the house?
Do you want to observe? I think we could observe from like next door, or we could just infiltrate house immediately.
Well, we need to go in the house and find his IP address, right? Like the computer?
Yeah.
I said we just go into the house.
Yeah, all right. Let's do it.
There's gonna be enough people there. FP, thank you for raising your hand.
Question?
Yep. I was quick on raising my hand this time. I got
Everybody in favor of going into the house, raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay. I as well.
Fruitman just nods.
Aye. Okay. This ladder is 10 to 15 feet up in the...
Is it like coiled up?
No, it's one of those that slides down and up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, just give me something like heavy to tie on the end of this rope.
I just hold you my axe. I'm just like, here, tie it
Okay.
onto the end of this.
And my axe.
I tie it to the end of the rope that I have in my bag, and I try to like
Fellowship with the Ring.
lob it up and I like lob it up and try to get it between the rungs and pull it down.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Can I get an athletics check for that, please?
I'm gonna make. Okay, no.
I have 60 in athletics.
We're gonna roll.
Surprisingly.
And the roll is not if it happens, but how long it takes to happen. How long are you watching Fredrickson toss this axe up and be like, nope.
Roll of 1d100, and that's how many hours?
Campaign ends with us starving to death in this.
And I'm like, nope, this time I got it.
Yeah, you're like, no, hold on.
And you guys like, let us try it. I'm like, no.
Tired and hungry.
I'm like, I have a 60 in athletics. I can do this. All right, you need to roll athletics?
Yeah.
58 on a 60.
Okay, we won't say first time, but maybe like third time.
Okay, so I throw it the first time, and it just like goes tunk and falls down. I'm like, stand back, don't get hit by this axe.
I step back into the archway, and then I'm kind of like, oh, and then I step forward a half step.
You're like, oh no.
I'm like, okay, no, I can do this. I got it this time.
As you're doing that, Fruitman is just truly just like still staring at the Latin.
Oh yeah.
Like
just
oblivious to whatever.
I throw it again and just completely whiff it. Like I don't even hit the ladder.
Yeah, it goes flying across the room.
Yeah.
You have to like trudge over and grab it.
And I'm like, I'm like breathing through pursed lips. And I get the axe again, and I am like, all right, I'm going to try lefty this time. Just going to try it this time. Toss it lefty, and I get it.
Perfect.
And I'm like, oh man, maybe that's why I was always bad at ball sports. Just threw it with my wrong hand.
Yeah.
Like,
You have flashbacks
when you play the ball
every...
sports with your non-dominant hand as you've entered the manhole.
Yeah.
Your
non-dom ball.
Things go right.
There's a big uterus just down the hall there.
Yeah, wow. This is very genitalia-centric.
Yeah. It's called being a sexual being when I write.
Just this glob creature screaming.
Yeah. That's my ideal sexual encounter is a glob screaming.
Okay, so I finally am like, yes! Got it. I like feel like they're both like watching me with bated breath, and then I look and neither of them are paying any attention.
I think I stare at you blankly for a second, and then I'm like, I just start clapping after a moment of realization of how happy you are, and I want to be supportive.
Fruitman only turns around when FP starts clapping and is wondering why he's clapping. Kind of annoyed.
And then I just look at you both. I'm like, up the hatch.
Cool. You get up. It's the same porthole thing.
Yeah, I think I slowly open it and like crack it a little bit and
Cool.
like look out, try to be sneaky.
So it's kind of interesting what you see, because what you see.
Wait, is there any words or anything on the?
No words or anything. It looks just like the manhole that you had seen at Springfield's house. You open it up, and it actually is like a little hard to open up. It looks just like Springfield's manhole.
I'm like, I got a good look at his manhole.
You open it up, and it's a little actually kind of hard to open up. But first off, Harrow's manhole is tight. Actually, we'll say it is kind of tight because you get up to the top, and the thing goes from being an opening that's like, I don't know, 4 feet in diameter to being like your shoulder length. So like you have to climb up the ladder, and it's like all of a sudden your shoulder length. It's become a conical opening, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And then you open it up and you push it up, and
Like just tiny bit.
even just a
little
little
as I
bit,
can.
you can hear what sounds like fabric moving, maybe like a tarp that's over this. And you kind of push it up, and all you can see is tarp.
Damn it.
Now you can see tarp. And I'm talking tarp. And it's, when you open it up though, it's kind of hot, sweltering. It feels like you've opened up a hole that has a tarp on top of it.
Great. You described that for a long time.
It's a tarp covered hole. Hero's manhole has tarp.
So it's good to use protection.
I was going to make a protection joke. Damn.
A tarpdom.
Do I hear anything other than the scraping of the tarp?
Yeah, when you open it up just enough to see, what you can see is it looks like, when you look down, it looks like you are in a really nice, cool, old fountain. Like a big fountain that's like 5 feet across, and you are in the middle of the fountain as if you've come up where the water is going to come up out of and splash down on either side, but it's all covered with a tarp.
What?
Like you are coming up from the middle of a fountain.
Yeah, that's like out of commission.
Yeah, it's like an out of commission fountain.
Okay, and
with
it
a tarp
looks
on
like
top.
when I look at the tarp, it looks like it tapers down like on the
like it's
outside
covering.
of something.
And you can hear the din of people talking pretty far away. There's like people talking. There's like, you can hear clinking of glasses and clinking of things. And you hear somebody who's like, hey, fuck, get out of here. Like,
I'm walking here.
I'm walking here.
we just pop out in like the middle of Manhattan.
You're in New York. Yeah.
Roll grip.
Hey, what do you see up there?
Well, it seems like we are in some type of fountain that's covered with a tarp.
Oh, like a out of commission fountain.
Yes, precisely like that.
Okay.
Are there people up there?
With like hearing people, does it sound like they are like in the room, or does it sound like they're like above me?
First off, you can hear the sounds of birds singing.
Oh, we're outside.
You're outside.
Yeah, that was
Okay,
my
this leads to outside. I guess that makes sense with the fountain. But it is a mansion, so you never know. Can I try to open it and like climb down the side of the fountain and sneak up?
Yeah, the fountain's not like 100 feet tall. It's like
I know.
4 feet tall.
I'm trying to do it
You're
in
like popping up.
I'm trying to do it in like a sneaky way to like slither down.
Here's what we're going to do. Let's end it right here because it's 9 and we've been going for 2 hours, hour and a half. That's my ideal sexual encounter is a glob screaming.
Glob screaming, eating glob jamun.
And eating glob jamun, playing Bob Marley, singing We Be Glob Jamun.
Perfect.
Very niche.
Very niche.
Super niche kink.
It's very niche. You have to.
Very hard to find an escort that'll play into that.
Yeah, I'm like, I need you to feed me. I need you, to be an amorphous blob made up of multiple human beings first. So that's a hard ask. And then got to find glob jamun. And then we have to have a CD of Bob Marley playing We Be Jamun.
Yeah.
But once it all comes together, woo! I almost just made a cum joke, but I think we should stop with that in this.
But that really is super niche. Is like how many people, like what's the Venn diagram of like Cronenberg, people who know Indian desserts, and then also like Caribbean reggae.
It's exactly one person, and you're talking to him.
Well, yeah, there we are.
Right here.
Okay. Anyway.
So
left this ladder.
So finally,
glad everyone
I get
came
this
along with
ladder
us for this journey.
This Galab journey.
No.
Yep.
Nope, I'm here for it. Sorry, Arbor.